Y'all, what's up? Anyway, I never know how my intro is gonna be. It's just so sporadic things, Okay, let me jump right into it. You see the title of this says think, right? So I was thinking about something. Okay, I started to do a video, but I wanted to do this live because I wanted to encourage and motivate you guys in some kind of way. But so I was watching this TED Talk. And it was Sheryl Lee Ralph that did this particular TED Talk. And she was talking about how when she was a little girl, her father, on his office desk, he had a big plaque or something that had one word on it, and it was the word think, right? And so she said even as a child, she, it's like think, like, just one word, what do you mean type thing. But she said as an adult, in her early 20s, she said, and some of you may know that Sheryl Lee Ralph, she's an actress, okay? But in her early 20s, she was trying to break into the acting game, okay? She had done like some plays and stuff, but she said she went to see a big time executive who was in Hollywood at the time. And she said that he told her, everyone knows that you are a beautiful, talented African American woman, but who's going to want to see you on screen kissing a white male who is a leading actor? Okay, so who's going to want to see that? You kissing a white man on screen who is a leading actor. And she said that hurt her so much, right? Like it really did a lot to her, in that moment, right? But she said what came back to her was what her father had on his desk. Think. And she said, so I thought about it. He said, everyone knows you are a beautiful, talented African American woman. And she said, okay, well, if everyone, she said to herself, she didn't say it to him, but to herself after the fact, she said, if everyone knows that, I'm going to go out here and make a mark on Hollywood. And she did, she rocked with that since, everybody knows that. So I was sharing that to, because it's like a segue into what I wanted to share about something that happened to me. It's a very small thing, but it made me think about this situation, right? I mean, the TED Talk. So I was a part of this Facebook group. I took myself out, okay, because I just realized a lot of Facebook groups are toxic and unnecessary, full of drama. There are a lot of people who like stuff like that. But anyway, and so I posted something motivational, right? Now, I know that a lot of Facebook groups, they have a reason to exist. Like you might, something like an actor's page or something like private groups, different things like that. Whatever it is, a mom's page, I don't know, a sneakers page, certain type of tennis shoes, I'm just throwing stuff out there. I know those exist, for specific reasons, but this Facebook group, it had a reason to exist, but it wasn't like, you can't post this and that, most say like political stuff, bullying type stuff like that. So I just posted something motivational because, in that group, like, people need motivation, okay? And somebody made a comment and said, if you're going to post these motivational things, you should probably do it on your own page, And, I didn't say anything because I don't care for the back and forth on social media at all. But I was just like, what? Like, okay, number one, it let me know, wow, the enemy really does watch you, because I have been a part of this group for probably it's been over a year, and I've probably posted 4 times throughout that. Like, I am so serious. I looked it up. I posted like 4 times, okay? And I'm like, I wasn't even posting, I probably posted something motivational like twice. So it was just interesting that was said, right? And I was like, okay, Lord. I said, what is this? And so they eventually, like, they took it down, and I was like, okay. And then, so I just took myself out of the group because I was like, okay. And what came to me was, because you know how sometimes somebody might say something to you and the enemy wants you to get offended, right? Like, and say something back. So stuff kept trying to come to me, like, you know, I could say this or I could say that, but I'm like, no, you know. And so what did come to me was think. That TED Talk came back to me. And I thought to myself, she said, if you're going to be posting all this motivational stuff, all these motivational things, blah, 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 blah. And so you know what? I took that portion of it and I'm like, okay. So obviously she recognizes that the stuff I post is to motivate people, right? Which is not a bad thing, right? And so I was like, wow, you know, so I just wanted to encourage somebody, like, to think. I think our first reaction a lot of the times is to get offended. And, you know, the enemy is really, you know, trying to, what's the word I'm looking for? That spirit of offense is coming upon a lot of people, okay, during these times especially, you know, because he wants to divide households and friendships and business relationships and different things like that. Anyway, and people you don't even know, he just wants to divide, okay? But I said, okay, so like I said, think, guys, think, because what it made me think about also is, come on now, you gotta know the enemy will compliment you while trying to insult you. The enemy will compliment you while trying to insult you. You know what I'm saying? Look, your little car look nice, but yeah, I see you got a nice little job, but I mean, you can sing, but you know what I'm saying? That dress look nice on you, but oh, I see you got a little business going on, but you see what I'm saying? You see what that book you wrote was good, but oh, them shoes look real nice on you, but I'm just saying, I see you with your little shoes, you know, and when people try to dismiss stuff, they put little in there. I see you with your little shoes, your little self. You ain't doing nothing with your little self. Anyway, but I'm just saying, it's like, dang, you only got one body. Where you get all these butts from? You know? I see you with your little shoes, but anyway, y'all, I'm so goofy. So I just want to encourage somebody to know that, okay? Like I said, guys, think. The next time somebody says something to you, think about what they're saying before you jump down their throats, whatever the case. Or even if you don't say anything, before you get offended. Because see, one thing that I know, and I know I'm not the only one that this happens to, you know what I'm saying? Like, if somebody says something or does something that, you know, offends me in a way, or it tries to offend me, because I try my best not to get offended by things, you know what I'm saying? I try to just let stuff roll off my back, you know what I'm saying? But if something does try to come to me, you know how your thoughts go. It's like, well, I should have said this or whatever, you know. If I don't catch it, it'll replay longer than I intended to, for hours, for minutes, overnight. You know what I'm saying? And so, before you let that happen, think about what they're saying and see if there's any good in it, because that'll tell you that'll give you the real answer. That'll tell you what they really think of you. Okay. It's just the enemy that tries to come in, you know, just like with that comment that was said about me motivating and stuff. And I thought to myself, I said, okay, I said, wow, like, and the group, in all honesty, they need motivation, you know? And so whatever. But, it's interesting because I said, see, the enemy is always watching, right? It's like, no, she motivating people. Let me get her up out of here before these toxic people start changing their mind for the better. You know what I'm saying? Let me get her up out of here because I need them to remain toxic. I need them to keep that toxic mindset. Okay? Come on now. How many of you know the enemy wants you to stay in the same mindset that you've always been in? He don't want you to grow, right? He don't want you to grow. So anyway, I'm going to leave it at that, guys. I hope that this encourages you. I hope it motivates you. Just have a great and wonderful day, okay? Think.